Good morning, everyone. I am Vishal Kumar, and today I am here to represent my idea bank. And my topic is importance of communication. What do you really mean by communication? Are people mainly talk with others or communication? Am I right? No. Communication is something that enables the person to exchange their thoughts, emotion, feeling in front of people. It can be verbally or non-verbally. Think what will happen if we won't be able to communicate. It will be living like in the world of dumb people. Communication plays a very important role in the life, whether at schooling, workplace, or etc. A child expresses her feeling by crying. What did you want to say? That yeah, I am hungry. And mothers know that yeah, my child is hungry. What is the importance of communication at workplace? Communication is very important at workplace because we used to talk and share the information. It can be verbal or non-verbal same. It helps the managers to depute their employees with their respective works by communicating. And in management also, there should be coordination. And we need coordination because we have to do communication and we need coordination. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ramu Kumar, and today I'm going to discuss about what's the communication skills. Communication skills, it means the way of convey your thoughts and ideas, informations, emotions, and whatever you want to convey and convey your emotions and informations. It's called the communication skills. Communication skills basically divided into four and five types. For example, first verbal communication, and second non-verbal communication, third listening communications, fourth visual communications, and what's the verbal communication? Verbal communications, it means the way of convey your thoughts, emotions, feelings, and ideas in words. It may be orally and written. And non-verbal communications. Non-verbal communications, the way the convey your thoughts and ideas in the form of facial expressions, emotions, and gestures, postures, and body language. It's called non-verbal communications. And visual expressions. It means visual communications. You can convey your informations, ideas, and thoughts through the visual graphics. Thank you.
My name is Krishna, and today I am uh, deficient to communication by other person. But the art of sharing or exchanging information, idea or feeling is called communication. The transfer of information from one person to another person, irrespectively to whether or not it is ethical confidence. Communication is an exchange of fact and idea, opinion about emotion by two or more persons. Communication is an behavior to result and an exchange of meanings. According to me, communication is that like oxygen in life, because without oxygen can't take we can't think life. That that's without communication, whole world like dumb. So communication is important. Types of communication: non non-verbal communication and verbal communication. Verbal communication, by the verbal by the written and orally, we produce our verbal communication, and non-verbal communication, uh, through expression and emotion and facial expression, like and posture and posture of body shows the non-verbal communication of any person.
Yes, start.
Good morning to all. And now I'm talking about what is communication, and I am talking about the three definitions by the given three famous authors by John Adair. Communication is essentially the ability of one person to make contact with another and make himself or herself understood. And according to William Newman and Charles Summers, communication is an exchange of ideas, facts, opinions, or emotions or two or more persons. And according to Lewis Allen, communication is a breeze of meaning. And now I'm talking about the types of communication. Usually, there are five types of communication: non-verbal communication, verbal communication, written communication, visual communication, and fifth is listening communication. Non-verbal communication includes facial expressions, posture, eye contact, and touch. And verbal communication. Verbal communication occurs when we engage in speaking with others. It can be face to face, over the telephone, by Skype or Zoom, etc. Written communication. Written communication form of the verbal communication, but it is so different than spoken verbal communication that this form gets its own separate time. Visual communication. Visual communication is one you may must have heard of, but it is one that communication that other types of communication have. Visual communication is developing information, messages, and delivering informations and points by way of graphical representations or visual aids. And listening communication is a surprisingly important part of communication, and in order to be a great communicator, you must master of the art listening. Remember that listening does not just mean hearing or politely waiting for your turn to speak. When others are speaking, you should practice it. Active listening, which means that you are engaging your mind while the person speaks, intensely focusing on your what they are saying. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So today we will discuss about communication. Communication is something which connects us with the entire world. It is an act of sharing or exchanging information, ideas, or feelings. So, communication is of many types, but today we will discuss about two types: verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Verbal communication is a production of spoken English to send an initial message to a listener. Verbal and non-verbal communication abilities are considered to represent a core defect in.
Can verbal only be written? Can verbal communication be only written? No. It can be spoken and written as well. When we use words, it is verbal. Continue. To convey your ideas to written form.
So, non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is a transmission of message or signal through eye contact, facial expression, or from our body languages. It includes the use of social use, incest, distance, and physical environment. Effective communication, the process of exchanging ideas, thought, opinions, knowledges, and data so that the message is received and understood with clarity and purpose. We communicate effectively. Both senders and receiver feel satisfied. Ineffective communication leads to confusion, frustration, conflicts, and low morale. The communicating people are not satisfied with the ideas. There is a lack of understanding in ineffective communication. There are many ways of communication: one-way communication, two-way communication, one-to-many way communication, and mass communication. One-way communication is when a message flows from sender to receiver only. thus providing on feedback. It is in this type of communication, only one people is speaker and all are listeners. In two-way communication, it is a form of transmission in which both parties involved transmits information. Two-way communication has always been referred to an interpersonal communication. One to many-way communication is something which is commonly found in old media such as print, radio, and televisions. Mass communication is an importing or exchanging of information on a large scale to a wide range of people. There are also some communication which is known as formal and informal communication. Formal communication is defined as the communication which takes place through official routes and channels. An informal communication is defined as the communication which takes place unofficially between two or more people. It is done within our domestic reasons. Thank you.
What is communication? Communication is not just a sharing of idea, but it's also a sharing of feeling, ideas, thoughts, and what we feel and what we like to convey our message. Communication are of many types, like informal communication and the formal communication. Informal communication, we used to talk with our friends, relatives, and everyone with whom we are closer. And communication, we used to talk with the organization or the institution or or the member of our community and others. And the communication are of many types, like one-way communication and the two-way communication, verbal or non-verbal communication. In one-way communication, we listen to radio and like PM say Man Ki Baat and the other, and the broadcast also. And in two-way communication, we used to refer the communication which has feedback also. Like we used to send our message to anyone or communicating with question and answers. And in non-verbal communication, we used to tell our emotions or our exposure to the person who is in front of us. And in verbal communication, we used to give him message in written form or spoken form also. Thank you.
A very warm and pleasant good morning to one and all present over here. Today I have come up here with the topic communication. Communication is important to express oneself. It also satisfies one's need. One should have effective communication for advancement in the career. In your personal life, effective communication skill can smooth your way and your relationship with others by helping you to understand others and to be understood. One of the famous quote of Peter Drucker: the most important thing in communication is having what isn't said. And there
Hearing what is instead.
Huh?
Hearing what is instead said. It means we're talking about body language.
are not hearing, it's having.
Hearing what something has not been said. So communication is not just the words, but also the body language. गलत कोट लिखा होगा. Hearing.
And at last,
Hearing what is not being said. और सुनेंगे कैसे आप? Body language से, facial expression से.
I'm a boy.
Yes.
And at last, I want to